Hello, welcome to La Casa. Take a seat.
And feel like home.
Hola, another
Hola.
week again. It's us. Hello.
Hello. What's happened?
So what is the topic this week?
Well, we wanted to talk about, can you say spirituality? Not really, no. It's more like connections.
But maybe like in a spiritual...
What kind of way?
Yeah. Because the original topic, let's say, we wanted to talk about more like, what was it?
Like soul ties.
Yeah. Maybe karmic connections.
Yeah, karmic connections.
Soulmates, twin flames, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know actually like what was really the difference between
twin flames
and there's a lot of names for a lot of different like connections, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, ChatGPT just gave me like a quick overview. But I was reading more about the twin flames because I think I see it more now.
Yeah, I see more soul ties, but you
see more soul ties.
You said something about
that. Means I think that says something about myself, I think. Because what I was reading about the twin flames is that usually it's like very chaotic. I don't know if maybe in my past, but I'm not sure if I have ever met like my twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of feel like it's
Can you like break it down?
Yeah, okay, so twin flames basically is like a type of connection where it's kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, do you know what a twin flame is?
I feel like I have my own thinking about it, but you say it and I tell you how my definition is.
Okay, so basically what ChatGPT said, I hope I'm not mixing it with anything else. It was basically like a very, I would say passionate, like a very deep or meaningful connection with a person that most of the times is like very, I want to say something like when something burns too quickly or like ignition. I'm just saying words right now, whatever. What I mean is more of a connection that is very strong, but it's not particularly about a person or it's
that's meant to be with you.
Yeah, I mean, probably you have a lot to learn, from this type of linking or whatever, but it's usually not that good for you. Like it can go to the toxic territory like really quick. Mm-hmm. That's why, I will say what I think about like the most general, which is like soulmates. I don't know if you believe about soulmates.
It depends if it's about like just having one soulmate, because I don't believe in that.
Okay.
I feel like
ChatGPT also said that.
I feel
you
like
can have more than one soulmate, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know, like I more believe in like soul ties.
Okay.
And I believe more in like the string theory of like there are some souls that are so near you that you are somewhat like tied to them.
Yeah.
And you'll meet them at some point in your life, and then afterwards, at least that's what happened to me, is like you feel the soul tie still, you know what I mean? But it's like only when you meet them, but you will meet them because you're like tied together, and then at one point in your life you will meet them. But I also don't feel like it's only one string with one person attached.
Yeah.
¿Sabes?
Yeah. For soulmates, I don't know how I feel about it actually. Maybe because I have some type of issues with defining love, maybe, or connections like that. With soulmates, I have like known in the most traditional sense, which is like when you're in a relationship with someone, and I never did quite like that at all. Like for someone to be like, yeah, you're my other half or my soulmate, for me it felt like not real. Like I don't like saying that, even saying like the love of my life rings weird to me. This, maybe it's just me, maybe it's because I have my own issues and my own trauma or whatever, but yeah, because I feel like there's so many people in the world that, what are the odds? In my case, it might happen, I think people might have this, like even someone you meet when you're like 5 years old or whatever, but like what are the odds that one of my partners is the love of my life when I'm just barely 26 years old? Like, did I really get that lucky to meet them like so early on my life? It is true that I don't know when I will die, but that type of stuff, that it's like
But do you believe that soulmates are only like love related?
No.
Because for me, for example, I had this one soulmate thing, which was my granddad.
Right.
My granddad was an author, and I was the only one of us in the family that like kind of came after him. But he kind of felt that when I was a kid, because I was the first kid in the family ever. He didn't like pick up his own children, but I was the first kid in the family that he picked up and carried around. And I was always on his desk and stuff. And when he died, which is like a crazy story, but when he died, we were all in like one room, like, and he has 4 children. They all have children, so you can see that it was crowded, you know. He was very much in like a delirium, so like they gave him like morphine, stuff like that. And I remember, because I was hurt and I didn't want to be there, I was like in the corner of the room, and my granddad was like not there, like at all. His soul was like somewhere, I don't know. And my uncle, he was like talking to him quietly, being like, hey, we're all there, whatever. He was like not responding at all. And then he said like, Hannah, my name. And my granddad was like, his eyes were like, whoa. And then he asked like, where's Hannah? And then I came to the bed, and 30 seconds of him being there with me, like, and being like, I don't know, why are you crying? It's gonna be all right. And my dad said afterwards, your souls were like, soulmates. You were like similar souls, you know what I mean? So I don't know, like I believe in those connections more on like a deep level, but I don't think that it's like this, that you're gonna meet one person and that person has to be like the love of your life forever, you know what I mean?
Well, that made me teared up, guys. That was a really touching story. Oh my god, no, but that's so deep, because I don't think I have had. I feel like maybe the setting of someone being so much older than you and also being through that position also makes you like really appreciate the connection that you guys had. Because the people that I would like put my hands on fire, is that how you say it in English?
People that I would put my hands,
o sea, que pondría mis manos en el fuego.
In German it's like, für die ich meine Hände ins Feuer machen würde. Ja, keine Ahnung. Bueno.
That I for sure would think that we are like
that you would
connected.
kind of die for, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but like that I'm like 100% certain that we are like deeply connected, are my siblings, which I think is not weird either way. I feel when people have siblings and they're not very close in the sense of like, oh yeah, I have a brother, I have a sister, we never talk, ever. It's like, oh, that's so sad, because my siblings are like very, very present in my life. But I think it's like, we come from the same thing. I was actually thinking about it now that I was having a coffee with my mom. It's like, I have never been one to think that family is the strongest bond. I don't think that at all. Actually, your family can be any people, and like it doesn't really matter just because someone gave birth to you, or because you grew up in the same
blood
house.
is thicker than water is like shit as well.
I 100% agree with that. But as I've grown older, I have also thought about how impossible it is for you to not be linked to your family. Basically, in the sense of maybe not for dads in this case, maybe just a little bit, but in the case of like moms, which is always like a very difficult relationship with moms, it's like you literally were born from her, you know? It's like it feels more physical in that sense, and there's a lot of things that you probably can't ever run away from, let's say. Like, even if some people that I don't know, maybe this probably has happened in the story of the world, but siblings who have never met, but for whatever reason they have the same type of laugh, or the same way that they like the same type of stuff, and stuff like this. Like the atoms are like almost the same, even though they're different people and whatever. So I do think that maybe for family, I think a little bit about destiny. I'm not too sure how I feel about destiny. I most of the time think most things have to happen because they have to happen. Like there's a reason for things happening. Nothing is just like a coincidence. So for you to be born, like for him to be your grandpa, it's like it was not accidental that happened.
No,
you know?
yeah.
So of course you had to be linked to him in some type of energetic form. I think this might be a little bit weird for people if you don't really believe in energies like that. Maybe you believe in a god, and maybe it's a bit harder to explain in that sense. But yeah.
Yeah, but I could really feel that. And I mean, maybe with soul ties, it's also more what I feel with people. It's more like a recognition of you meet someone and it's like, whoa, yeah, you see me and you feel me, and it feels like so easy, like as if we've known each other forever, and I don't have to explain things about myself. Like you see right through me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I in my research investigation, you want to see? Okay, in my research in ChatGPT, yeah, I saw that there was this thing called soul family.
That's cute.
I think it's a little bit more like it's very similar to what you're saying to the soul ties, because when I read it, I was like, oh, that's me and Hannah for sure. That is like the type of person that you meet and it's like we probably have known each other for way longer. Like it just feels very easy, it's comforting, you learn from the other person like in a very positive way and things like that, which I think it definitely could happen. But I do wonder if that happens to us because we're both extroverted. You know what I mean?
Could be.
I wonder if
I have extroverted friends that it doesn't feel the same with.
No,
them,
but
you know?
I feel maybe an introverted person is never gonna feel like that because they have more issues feeling easy with that person. You know, it does happen, but yeah, it's usually I feel like.
Leave us a comment if you want to talk about it and you're someone that's more
See,
introverted.
give us examples.
Yeah.
No, because I think maybe for introverted people, when it happens, it's so special that it has to be more than a friendship type of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have felt like this. Each way is very special either way, because when I came to Spain, I never imagined that I would make as much friends as I have, and as much friends where I'm like, whoa, I cannot believe that I came here to a completely different country and I found this person that speaks my language, you know, like the language of the soul and whatever. But it's even crazier to think that a girl from Venezuela and a girl from Germany can click so well, can have so much in common, can understand each other so well. It is true that maybe if we have met each other before,
I feel like I was a Latin American my past life.
Puede ser.
Because I had the same exact conversation.
I was never German.
No.
Well, maybe with my love for sausage.
Or maybe you were just straight your past life.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't think so.
But I had the same conversation with my ex. She's from Latin America as well, and we were both like, wow, this is insane because we're from different continents and we feel so close.
Yeah.
But this is like the thing about like soul ties, because I felt like very much like our souls back then, we always said like we feel like we met in another life and stuff like that, and I barely had that with other people romantically. But I also feel maybe sometimes you just meet people so that they can really impact your life like a lot.
Yeah.
So this whole thing that I'm here feels like very much like destiny for me, but I never would have guessed that 2 years ago. You know what I mean? The whole thing was like so meant to be in the end.
Well, it is true, and when you said that, I do remember that with my first ex, I had a fucking crazy ass connection, but I think if anyone in my life could be a twin flame, it might be him, because in the moment that we were together for a long time. Well, it was awful, but
I had a twin flame as well. I'm gonna tell you in a second, and it was also awful.
Yeah.
I think you have a point with the awful.
Yeah, because it's like I cannot in good faith tell you how did that relationship come to be, because it was very long ago, so I don't want to like trash the memory of our relationship. Like I was there for quite some years, so it did have its good things. I cannot remember them right now, but they did happen and be there in my life or whatever. But I had like this fucking crazy connection that lasted even like 2 years after we broke up. Like I could sense, like I could be completely chill and be like, oh my god, I'm getting an anxiety attack right now, something is happening to this person, and then 30 minutes later be like, yeah, I almost got robbed right now, or like I was really distressed because something happened to me on the street or whatever. It was fucking crazy. I used to dream things like
Same.
that would happen with this person, and I think that was fucking insane. I could sense when something was not going well.
Yeah, I've had the same.
And it's fucking crazy. Even a year later,
I would like wake up, you know, in the night and be like, whoa, and then I knew it, like, and the person texted me or whatever.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy because there's no way to explain it, because it was also like a very, it was like a very toxic dynamic. I think it was like a very abusive relationship. No shade. I mean,
same.
We were very young, but it was not good at all. So also you kind of like Stockholm syndrome yourself. You're kind of coping all the time. So you like develop these types of hyper awareness. Like it kind of feels bad for me to call it like something bigger. Our connection was something out of this world. It is true that I learned so much. I mean, I had to go through that relationship. That relationship made me leave Venezuela. It made me move to Madrid. It made me, like, it was so many things that I had to go through. So I'm really thankful that I lived that when I was young-ish, kind of. But it kind of feels, weird to call it, like, to have, like, a special name for it. Because I also think since it was so bad, what I mean when I say that it was so bad is that I felt very bad in the relationship constantly. Like I was constantly hurt, constantly feeling bad about myself, constantly arguing like that. So it's like, I think I actually turned a little bit crazy. Not gonna lie. I was there for like 5 years, and the last...
Whoa, 5 years is a long time.
That's too fucking much. And in the last 2 years, I was fucking out of my mind. So it kind of feels disingenuous to feel like we had a great, like not a great connection, but like a very deep connection, because we obviously did. But also at the same time, I was fucking crazy. Like I look back and it's like my mind was all over the place. I was like in a manic episode for real. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel about it.
I get that because I had that with like, she wasn't my girlfriend, but she was like the first girl I ever really loved, and she was my best friend. And we had an intense relationship. It was crazy. Like I also felt with her, in my sense, that we had like an insane connection. Yeah. And if she felt like my twin flame, but I was also constantly hurt, like constantly. It was like so toxic between the two of us. Whatever was in me, and I don't even want to talk about her, whatever she does, I don't give a fuck. Or whatever she thinks about this whole thing. But for me, even though, I mean, I didn't know back then that I was in love with her, which obviously also hurt me in a lot of ways, but the whole thing, like, it was so intense. But I also feel like I was also always looking for that afterwards, you know? That was like bad. And with twin flames, I read someone said that you should learn from them. And I would rather believe in soul ties that bring you on like another path or something like that. Because I agree, like I left Frankfurt as well because of this girl, for sure. And I am who I am now because I did. But I don't know if you really have to have like a connection like that, you know what I mean?
I mean, what I have been thinking, like looking back, is that I know that I learned a lot from this dynamic, but I do, like, since it got really nasty sometimes, I am thinking like I had to learn, but did it have to be like this way? Did it have to be for 5 years? You know, like maybe I took it a little bit too far. That's me personally. That wasn't me completely. But like, what I think is there were times where I was having the worst time ever. Like I think I've never been more depressed in my life than when I was in a relationship. And it's like, I know and I knew I had to learn about a lot of things. But did it really have to be that way, that extreme? So the jury's still out. It's still, but I still think, I mean, there was also like this karmic connections which allegedly, according to ChatGPT, they don't necessarily are meant to last forever, but there are like types of connections that it's kind of like a mirror to the things that not necessarily the things that you lack, but maybe
what's happening and what you need to,
yeah, your dark side, or not necessarily only your dark side. It can also be like the good things and stuff like that.
But do you feel like, is it more like a connection that you really feel also when you're with that person?
See,
okay, because I feel like with my ex I had to learn like a lot about my upbringing and my family and the way I handle situations, and also even more in relationships, because I don't know, like I mirror my mom a lot and stuff like this, and so I had to learn that with this person. I think that's why we were together in a way, like, you know, whatever.
I think that it might be like one karmic connection. I would say my current boyfriend is kind of like my current boyfriend sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Well, my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
Te amo, Pablo. But I feel like he is in some type of way like a karmic connection in that sense, because like I'm older now, I've had other experiences, and yet with him it's like I see a side of myself that is not like I didn't know it was there, but it's like, okay, I need to fight this on, like about myself, you know? It's kind of like he brings out things that I was hiding about myself. Like I don't want to think about that I might react this type of way, or I'm this type of person, but it's becoming apparent because I want to have a good relationship.
Get it.
It doesn't necessarily mean like a bad thing. For me, it's actually like very helpful, because I think it's exactly the kind of like, ¿cómo podría decir vínculo? Well, yeah, whatever, the type of relationship that I wanted to, or not that I wanted, that I needed to have. Because I think we are also like trying to build something way more serious, and I don't think you can build something serious without having to have a good look to the basis of how you see yourself, how you see relationships and stuff. So when someone very close to you, and also like can do it with love and like with empathy and stuff like that, can bring out maybe those sides of you that you're like, okay, I need to work on this for myself, because this is gonna happen with him, with her, with any other person. This is a me problem, and I really, really, really appreciate that. But yeah, according to ChatGPT, this can be like a good thing or like a bad thing. It depends a little bit. Maybe on the type of goals you have, maybe the trauma that you have or whatever, but
I feel like for me, the whole like believing in the universe and stuff like that, it just helps me a lot to be chill.
Yeah.
I don't know, because ever since I'm like, okay, I literally, like, I go after like my feeling and I go for what I want, but in the end, if it doesn't work out, then it's not meant to be. We can feel like soul ties, we can feel like twin flames, whatever.
No, I think,
you know?
actually, maybe that's why people believe in religion, though I think religion is kind of like, sorry, but a bit mind-washing type thing. Not all of them, I don't know, I'm not very like,
I hate the church more than religion. Sorry for the religious people out there, because I think it's like a kind of like a controlling instrument for people, which doesn't have to be. Yeah,
but it is a great tool, like to believe maybe in the universe or whatever. I also see like my mother; she's very like she's very Christian, so she believes a lot in her religion.
I think some people just need it as like to feel like stable, or like to have someone to hold on to, you know?
It doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but for me, believing in the universe or the power of the universe, which I think it's, well, maybe this is what everybody thinks, but I think you for sure can prove the universe. You cannot for sure prove any God or things like that. But it's like the best anxiety medicine ever. True. Because I see like a lot of my friends sometimes get into, it happens to me as well. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but maybe I'm a bit more lazy, and since it's like whatever, everything is gonna work out the way it has to work out. If I don't get this, then it wasn't for me, and if I do get it, it was always mine, you know, that type of thinking, which makes me be like, whatever. I'm not even gonna stress about it.
But that's better because like in the end you can't change it anyway. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you don't like, if I don't get that shared flat that I really want, then it's better for me to believe in that it's not meant for me, as in to be like, oh my god, but no, but why, but
Yeah, for sure. But I actually used to identify as an atheist, but I realized that I'm more of like agnostic, not because I think there's any god or goddesses or whatever. It's more of like, yeah, the power of the universe. But I think, I'm not too read on this subject, but I think there are books, scientific books, that actually prove this. Like if you go to like very deep physics and chemistry and stuff, it's like there's like some amazing things about the fact of what is the thing that is like when you are watching atoms behave, they behave differently than when no one is watching.
Or you watch who behave?
Atoms, moleculas, átomos, molecules of things. I think it's not atoms, or maybe it's molecules, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, molecules are like a group of atoms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That if they are being watched, they behave differently if they are free. And this is like a proven scientific fact. How fucking crazy is that? And obviously you can like smoke a joint and pull out a million different theories after watching this, but I think what already happens in real life is so hard to grasp sometimes that it's like it's so easy to believe that there's like the power of the universe or whatever, you know. I don't know if you
for sure
believe in you don't believe in any religion.
No, I don't. But I believe in the universe for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're living on a floating rock.
I do kind of believe. Maybe we can do like a conspiracy theory.
No.
No, but like.
Do you mean that we just like invent one?
No, we can do like an episode where we talk about
but this is like a really like deep dive topic. We have to be prepared.
Maybe. I don't know. I do think that we can 100% be living in a matrix, like in a world of another civilization, and we're just like sins.
Sinners.
No,
sins, yeah.
Because it's like sometimes some crazy shit happen that is like,
those stories are my favorite thing though.
Bro.
There's like people telling about like the glitch in the Matrix.
Claro. But sometimes it's like something that is so like on the top of my head. Katy Perry dating Justin Trudeau. The Prime Minister of Canada. No, I don't know. Fact check me here. Katy Perry dating a minister from Canada, like a very important person from. What the fuck?
¿Cuándo?
Desde hace un montón de tiempo, like.
Ahora.
Sí.
¿Qué dice?
What the hell? You know Naomi Campbell. The model.
Sí.
She was dating Chavez, the deceased president of Venezuela. What the fuck? I mean, it is true that we don't know how the famous people go around. We don't know about that world. So maybe this is not as crazy as it seems to me.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, what the fuck? Literally, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but also things like, I saw like a video about a guy telling the story that he went on the street and he saw a girl and they looked at each other and they were like, and then he was like, oh my god, I know this girl. Like, I know her. What the fuck? Where do I know her from? And this girl was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm telling the story wrong. Maybe it was a guy and a guy, whatever. Okay. But the other person got up and went to him and was like, kind of like, we don't know each other. But I feel like we do as well. So it's like, I don't know, like things that's like crazy. That. Or people that go get on a bus and then they take a nap and then, I don't know, the bus is like, somewhere like completely different and they're like, am I tripping? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, I can't explain it, but there's things happening that where people sometimes are like, what the hell?
It's fucking crazy. You know about the Mandela effect? Well, whatever. We're not gonna talk about this here. We're gonna talk about this in a new episode. But back to the connections and the souls and stuff like that. What I also wanted to say is that I feel like maybe because of past experiences, which they're not even that common, but for some reason maybe like they made a mark on me, is that I have felt, this has probably happened to you with a friend, that you feel like you guys know each other, like you connect very, very deeply, and then you stop being friends. Nothing dramatic happens, it's just like it fades away after a lot of years, you know, and nothing like really happening for that to happen. So for me, it's like I feel like with connections and stuff like that, there are like moments of sparks, but that doesn't mean they have to stay forever, if that makes sense. So for me to call a friend like we're absolutely soulmates, because I feel like that with some of my friends. I feel like, wow, I get them and they get me like in such a deep way, but like tomorrow we can be not talking to each other
but
anymore.
I think it's just like nice to appreciate that, but also I feel like in all ways that you feel like a cosmic bond with people, which bond it might be, twin flame, soulmate, soul ties, whatever, I think it's good to appreciate it, but it's also good to let it go when
Yeah,
it has to go
yeah,
for whatever reason, and not doubt it, because like I have been holding on to something like that for too long, and that's like a mistake I don't want to do anymore, and not at the moment. And for me, it's more helpful to be like, I've learned this person was in my life for a reason, for sure,
Yeah.
and it felt like a deeper reason than with other people, but it's done, and I'm okay with like it being done. And if the person is really meant to stay in my life, then they will, you know?
yeah. I also think about when you are in a room of people, it can be random. I don't know. Let's say you are doing the legal trámite. How do you say that? You're in the office to get like your passport.
Yeah.
The fact that you are in that office that day with the people that are there that day, I think there's like some type of connection there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like anything too crazy, but I do feel like there's a reason why I got the ticket for Tuesday 10:30, and this lady next to me also got the same slot, and things like that, you know? Which usually I think people don't. I don't, at least. It's like maybe there's a reason for all of us to be sharing space, and there's probably like, oh, you know those stories about people who are like, they're like a couple, they're getting married or whatever, they're a couple, and they're looking at pictures, and
they
like,
were in kindergarten together.
yeah, like we were on the same day at the same park or whatever. I think that's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's not, I think when you actually do the math, it's not as crazy. Like the chances are very high for that to happen to anyone, I think.
Can happen for sure.
Right, but I think that's also fucking crazy to later on be having like a very special connection with that person. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know who is the person that you have next to you. And I do think that, as I said before, nothing is at random. So maybe you think the person you have next to you in the metro or in the subway is just like a random whatever, which most of the times they will be, because nothing will ever come out of it. But I do think sometimes, and now I'm going fucking crazy and on a tangent, but whatever. Remember,
sometimes not, yeah.
No, but imagine if something were to happen in that moment. So like you are on a shop buying something and an earthquake happens. You're now linked to those people. Like the people are probably gonna help each other, whatever. Like you were meant to meet those persons. I think that's something big has to come out of it. But actually, I was thinking about, on Friday it was my birthday, and I did like kind of like a party at my place, and we got the cops called. And it wasn't too dramatic. It was
just so
it was whatever. God. To be fair, it was a bit extra. The cops came at like 11:30,
and we were not even alone.
Yeah, whatever. So my boyfriend put a note on the elevator saying like, yeah, we did this on Friday. I'm sorry if we bother whoever it is that we bothered that had to call the cops. Next time, feel free to knock on our door. We won't bite. It's okay. Like, we're sorry if we bothered anyone here. And people started putting notes being like, oh my God, I cannot believe you got the cops call. People here are so lame. Next time you have to invite us to the party. they like a lot of people, and it's like actually I'm living in this building, which obviously like there's so many people who live here, and I'm probably linked to the people that live here in some type of way. Like I was meant to share the space with the people here, which I don't know any of my neighbors. I know like 2 of them, but maybe I will know them. And I think about it in your case where you share a flat with like 10 people. 11 people. It's like, do you think it's transcendental? How do you say that? Transcendental, whatever. Do you think it's like those people are gonna change your life? No. But the fact that you are in the same place at the same time, there's probably something there. Which,
of course. And
Hannah lives with people from all around
the world.
Yeah, basically. So it's kind of like crazy.
Get me out of there.
Everybody send good energy to Hannah for her to move from Sol, like the giddy that she is.
Fuck that, no. I really have to upgrade I have to get rid of the giddiness.
Yeah, at least just a little bit. But yeah, at the end of the day, I will say that, and this can be like my conclusion.
Oh yeah,
I think being human makes us being connected for sure. There's no way that a person that is alive right now at the same time that I am has nothing to do with me, because we're in the same world. We're sharing space, air. I mean, obviously it's different, but what what I mean to say with this is that just because you don't know someone, or maybe you cannot imagine like someone from the other side of the world, doesn't mean that they don't feel and have the same experiences as you. And I think that's actually like very valuable, because I think people forget about that a lot, and people judge a lot on the outside as if they don't remember that the person they have in front of them is also human, is also learning, is also having like, is also experiencing things for the first time. And I think a lot of people do like that separation, like I'm not like them, I'm not like this person, we don't have anything to do. And it's like the fact that you're like the same species, for me it does say something, no, at the end of the day. So don't be racist, and don't be homophobic, and don't and don't discriminate other people because they're people just like you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to say, like, I think if people would see that more in the way you say it, but in a positive way, then the world would be probably a better place.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, it's not easy. It's not like I'm going around the street giving people flowers, that's for sure. And I also judge people, and I also think, okay, this person is awful or whatever. But I do think we all share kind of like, well, they say that we are made of dust or something like that, like stardust, but we are made of like the same dust, you know, like the same explosion of the Big Bang and whatever. So it's like our molecules are not that different, like even though it feels like that, and maybe it feels like there's a lot of separation between you and another person, there probably isn't. Like
the only thing is probably that you're more lucky than them.
Yeah, literally that. And also you can also see yourself reflected in the other person for whatever reason. Like when you see a kid crying and you probably think that kid is so annoying, you probably think that you're annoying when you're crying. You know what I mean? Like you see yourself in people all the time, and when something doesn't feel nice to you at first, it's probably because you don't feel nice with yourself about that same exact thing. That's kind of what I mean.
I think my conclusion is like to be open for the universe to like guide you, or like to for new connections, because every single new connection brings you further. And I never would have guessed that. I feel so bound to like Latin American people, but also people like queer people made my life different, and black people, and you know, like just like good people in general. And so I don't know, be open for new things, and I think then you can also let things go. And be,
that's not easy,
and try to feel easy about it, even if you thought that maybe that person was meant for you, something like that. So well, guys,
we got very philosophical in this episode.
If you see 111 on the microwave, good for you, and we see each other next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.